Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using, all the dimensions are listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products and help support my channel. There is a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There's my email address if you have any questions or want to find out about in-person classes. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. If you watched my video last week, I told you I would show you this whole suite today. And so here we go. It's called Autumn Toile. And there is 2 stamp sets, 2 sets of dies, 2 types of paper. And it's all in the new mini catalog that is going live on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. So we looked at this one a little bit on Friday, but those who may not have seen it, it's a beautiful stamp set. There's no verses. And there is a lot of dies. So we have the tree and the outline of the tree. You can see there's 2 pieces there. We have the deer. We have a silhouette deer and some foliage you can cut out. This cuts out this one here, and these cut out these 2. And this one here is some green leaves that you can actually cut out and put on top of your tree. And these are some branches that you could use inside this one as well. And then, of course, the deer. So that's the dies for that set. The second set is Amber Autumn. Beautiful set. I love this set. And the dies for this one, first we have this beautiful background die. I'm going to pull it out because we're going to be using it. And then we have the ones to cut these and a couple standalone pieces, and we're going to be using this one today. So that's the 2 stamp sets and dies. Next is the paper. Now, this paper is gorgeous. Now, this paper set's a little unusual. You get 6 designs and 2 sheets of each. This one, you have 4 designs and 3 sheets of each, which I really like. But anyhow, we have, you see the beautiful fox. There's a little fox in there. I have deer on my brain. Isn't that beautiful? And then we have a nice stripe in the back. I know this paper is so beautiful. We have a nice pumpkin scene and a neutral on the back. And this beautiful with the pheasants and the trees. And then some more trees with deer. It's gorgeous. And a nice neutral in the back. So to go with this beautiful paper, there is some foil paper, and it's called Earthen Tones. Now this is just a small sheet of it. You get 3 in the package of the Earthen Tones. They're separate from this. You can order just this or this separately. You can order the whole suite at one time, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And I could tell you we're going to play with this today. Now the other parts to this, I'm going to set this over here real fast. The other part to this suite is we have some bling. It's called Streaked Dots. I'll try to hold those up so you can see them. They're really cool looking. And it's hard for you to see them. They've got this like marbling streaked look to them. It's not going to well, maybe you can see a little bit there in that one. They're very beautiful. And then finally we have, this is, what is this called? Irregular Weave Trim. It's a very neutral, it's just really cool looking. So, you're wondering what we're making today. Well, we have an envelope Very simple. And this is the card we're making. It just says, thanks. And you can see all of that beautiful pieces there. And I've left the inside of this one very plain. I wasn't sure what I wanted to say on the inside of it, so I left it for now. And this is that mesh. So that's the card we're going to make today. I'm also bringing in two other things. I am bringing in the Spotlight Nature dies. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth one in on this set, which is this, which is about a 2 and just slightly over 2 1/8 inch circle. You could use any kind of circle. You could use any circle die or punch you wanted. I just liked it because I liked the texture. And then we are using the textured note dies. We are using the smallest one right here in the center for our sentiment. So let's get stamping. Get all my pieces over here. We're going to need an envelope. And I got to make sure I don't grab the wrong one. And we need a piece of Very Vanilla to stamp on. I chose to do Very Vanilla because I just thought it looked more, you know, like fall to me. And it went so beautiful with that earthen tone. So we're going to start with basic black. And we're going to stamp us some acorns. Just like that, some nice acorns. And while I've got this out, and I'm going to use Stamp Off on this, I'm going to grab this. I just want pretty much the acorns, but I'm going over a little further just because I know I'm going to get a little bit of the leaf. And just put those in there just like that. Nice and simple. And I'm not bothering coloring that either. The other thing we need to stamp is we need to stamp our sentiment, which is thanks, and I'm going to do that in Early Espresso. And I'm going to do it down on this side here because we need to die cut it. Just thanks like that. And that's pretty much all the stamping. So I'm going to just separate this right here because I want those acorns to dry for just a minute longer before we color them. So we're going to do our die cut. So I have this one here for that. I have a piece of Early Expresso. You only need about a piece about 2.5 by 2.5. This is just a piece I grabbed. And then we need this piece. And you need a piece of the metallic paper that is 5 1/4 by 4. Now this cuts out the inside, not the edge. So it's important that we line this up right in the center when we do it, okay? So we're going to die cut all of our pieces now. Well, almost all of our pieces. We'll come back and get the acorns later. So let's do these two first because they're probably the easiest two. They're all easy. It's just a little bit of tape here. And get that centered in there. Now you could color your acorns first and then, but I decided to I got a little bleeding on the first because I didn't wait a couple minutes. And it doesn't take long, just a minute or two, but that's why I love that design in there. And here is our beautiful little things. We'll set those off to the side. And then we will work on this piece. Now I want to set this at an angle, so we don't want it going straight through because it goes through much easier. And I'm going to put that there. Because I don't want this sliding on me. I actually had one, I put it through and didn't tape it, and it slid on me. And it slid right off the page. And it's hard to tape it down, but it's a start. Hang on, it slid on me already. Doesn't hold it down real well, but it's a start. And we'll get our plate on here and run this on through. And I'm rolling it back just to make sure that it went through all the way, and it should have, but I'd better be safe than sorry. There. I'm gonna grab this and pick these off real fast. There's a little metallic pieces everywhere. Okay. And I grabbed my scrubber here. These off here. Set those there for holding the next thing. And I'm just going to start rubbing this a little bit, just to loosen stuff up. And then we'll lift this off. Now, as you can see, there's still pieces stuck in here. I will come back later and poke all those out off air. But we do need to make sure that we don't have any chads hanging in here. And doing it over this is easier because I can just take it straight to the garbage can and dump it. So it can't go in the recycle bin. Unfortunately, this stuff is not recyclable, I found out. I got a little notice from my thing because I've been throwing scraps of metallic paper into recycling. And I was told metallic paper does not go through, it's treated like foil. So, just an FYI. I don't know if your trash company does that, but ours does. They're really good about even telling us if we're overweight. So I'm just weeding this, and it does take a minute to do it. And I could have done this ahead of time, but I wanted you to see how beautiful it came apart. And I'm just going through here. And when you're doing this, be careful that you don't poke yourself with your pokey tools. It is just beautiful. It does take a minute. Okay, let's flip this over and see what I can see from this side. Because sometimes you get over here and you can see more. It's not so shiny. So you can see stuff that's not under the lights. Oh, there's a big one there. So that looks pretty good. So that looks good. And then I'll just take and clean the rest of that off later and take it out to the garbage can and put it in the regular garbage. So that's the base part there. So let's go ahead and color our acorns and our leaves. So the acorns are going to be light pecan pie, I think is what I used. To be honest, I don't remember. So we'll start with light pecan pie. And let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. There we go. And so, and you know, I'm not the greatest colorist in the world. I just do what looks good to me. Could have made green ones. So I was looking at a tree the other day, and they had not started turning yet, and they were all green. I'm sure they'll start turning soon. But anyhow, there's the light. And then I'm going to come back in here with a little bit of dark, just to add a little bit in here. Just following what the stamp gave me. And you can re-blend that if you want to, but I sort of like the look the way it looks like that. The top I'm going to do in crumb cake. Because I find that they're sort of a greeny brown color. These are the ones we have around here once they turn. Just like that. Okay, the leaves. Let's start with light old olive, and we're going to do the back leaf in the see which one. That's green. That's green. Just seeing where the leaves go. And then I'm going to take the dark old olive and do the same thing, a little on the veining. And this one I am going to blend it a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. And not even the whole thing, because this time of year the leaves, even the green ones, start looking that mottled color. You know, they're all same color green. But that looks pretty good. And then this one is going to be Darling Duckling. I'll do the light first. Okay, we'll come back in here with some dark and give it a little, just a little something extra. You know how leaves look this time of year. Well, they're starting. I've got one tree that's starting to turn. That's probably because it's been hot. And I'm not going to blend that one anymore. I like it just like that. So that's I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, so let's get that cut out. Yeah, I know, I grabbed the little one this time. It's easier to move. I think we'll fit through there just fine. And let's line our acorn up here. Don't want him going anywhere. Okay. And there's our beautiful piece we're going to be using. Okay. Let's start building this card here now. We are going to need a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and this is very vanilla. Now, where'd it go? I have another piece of very vanilla that is 5 1/4 by 4. Now, when I cut this piece, I cut it at 4 by 6. And when I cut off at 5 1/4, that left me this piece here. I'm going to put this piece right on the inside here for the inside of my card. Now, just an FYI, if you use glue around this, you can use glue, but if you use glue, and it gets on the front, you're not getting it off. Like I said, I always find there's always reasons to have tape, and this is one of them. I'll make sure I didn't go off the side, because even tape has a hard time coming off of it. And then I'm going to put that right here on the edge to keep it nice and clean. Okay. Now this one, what I'm going to do, that's why I've got the silicone. I'm going around the edge here. So a little bit's going off onto the pad. That's what you want. I'm just going around the edge here on this. It's popping back a little bit, but that's okay. I have a better chance of cleaning that off than I do the other. And you could run this through with a glue sheet if you wanted. Oh, I just seen somebody here we don't want. Let's get him out of there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue tape here, here, and there. Just a few little pieces. And I got a little bit right there on the edge, and it'll pull right off. But it's a lot easier than glue. All right. And you're saying, why did I just flip that over? When I cut this, it's off just a hair, so I always put the smaller piece to the back if it's off a hair. So we are going to line this up on here. Just like that. So that little bit of tape around there, oop, I got a little bit right there, but it'll pull right off. Glue won't do that, but tape will. So that is the front of our card. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Typically I would just grab the glue at this point, but since I got the seal out, we'll do it this way. Okay, so that's that part. Now it's time to build our little piece here. So I'm going to take this and these two, and what we need now is for me to get the, hang on, to get the tape off my desk before I stick something else into it. This is just an alcohol thing. I use, I've got a bottle of alcohol I use too, but when I'm filming and just working, it's sometimes easier to grab a wipe. quick, fast way to get that off there, and it dries quickly. Yeah, unfortunately, this cleans ink. It doesn't clean off glue. Okay, so what I need is our little things here. So we're going to make some picks. And I want those to be roughly, I don't know, between 3.5 and 3.25. I'm not getting too precise. Just whacking off 3 pieces, roughly. And then I'm going to grab some mini glue dots, which I'm sure I brought out with me. And we're going to take one glue dot. Now you're going to say, how's this going to work with all those holes? I'll show you. Put a glue dot on and fold it over. But this is when I didn't make these ahead of time because they are sticky. And then I have to decide where I want them. So I'm going to stick one right there, right onto my acorns. This is why I didn't make ahead of time. Sometimes if I'm doing these, I'll make them ahead of time and just show you one. But with all the holes, I'm going to hang one off this side here roughly, about there. Don't worry, they're going to have more to hook them together than this. And then this one here, I want to put down around here. So basically, if I can hang on to it, make it like a little triangle around there. And you can see it's sticky because I'm sticking it to me, not the thing there. Okay, so they're on there, but they're not real secured, okay? So then we're going to come in here and we're going to mount this on here with dimensionals. I should tell you this one has a lot of dimensionals on it. We'll have to put another one on him. He's being difficult. He does not want to stay where I want him. He will now. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to be gluing this part here on about there. I'm just laying this out to see about where I want it. That's about right. So I just want to put a little bit of glue on that side. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals on here. So I'm going to look at this again. I'm going to lift this up. And that's going to go about there. So I can put them under this one and this one. And I can put this one right there. But we're going to put dimensionals on this later. So I'm not going to worry about that one. So we'll just put a dimensional on that one and on that one. On the acorn. And right there. That's to get us started. Like I said, there's 2 layers of dimensionals on this, so it's probably going to be a little bulkier than we really want, but it's a special card for somebody. So we'll pop that right there. So now we're going to take and hook this onto the card with dimensionals. So this time I'm going to put one dimensional right here, straddling this piece. Now, this is sitting up higher already, so I need to put a second dimensional on that one. So we'll just layer that one. Now this one is flat on this bottom piece, so I only need one dimensional. Okay, and then just some dimensionals on this. So just, look at your layers and see, and you could glue more of this if you wanted, but I decided I wanted to put some dimensionals. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and place this on here. And it's not going to look exactly like the first one. It's not supposed to. Something about like that. I know, my bowl's over on the other side. I didn't grab it. Sometimes you just get going and you forget. Okay. The other one was more off to the side, but I'm going to go a little towards center on this one. So I'm going to put this right there so far. Then we're going to use some bling on here. And we're going to put a big one. We can't go the same places because, well, we can. We're going to put one here, put a big one there. I'm going to put a big one there and a small one there. And I think that is a beautiful fall card. So that is my card for today. So if you join me, and it's like I said, this will go live on the 3rd of September, 2025. You can buy this suite. It's a beautiful suite. And if you join me on September 4th, which is Thursday of this week, I'm going to show you more of this week because I was just having too much fun playing with it. And so I designed something else using DSP this time. And not this paper, the Earthen magnet. Earthen metallic. That's a hard one for me to say. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.